Hello and welcome back to the Chromecast at the Rising Moon. Hey guys, on this channel I put up Logical Magic Examining Esoterica. That's my podcast. I put up the videos of that. I also do pick-a-cards, and today that's what I have for you. Today's pick-a-card is a little bit different because it's for psychics, it's for empaths, and it's for healers, and it is a message from the Archangel Raphael. In the different archangels have a different area of focus, and Raphael is the healer's energy. Now, Gabriel, which is what I'm chiefly attached to, is the messenger's energy. Michael is the protective, and then Uriel in celestial and angelic magic is the one about passion, drive. It's the divine connection archangel. But what Raphael really is the advanced spirit of healing and is connected to the element of water. So we've got 4 piles in a pick card, and you're going to want to take a moment and concentrate and see which one really calls out to you. It is entirely possible in this particular reading that multiple piles will apply. And it is because healers sometimes get a little blocked on their own messages. It's why being connected to Gabriel can be an interesting experience, because I get all my messages, but the healing energy of Raphael is something that I have to try and access. The only note that I want to add here is pile number 2 is actually the Thelema deck, and to please remember that is one of the Thoth tarots, and that is one of the messenger decks. So I realize it's one of the plainer ones on pile number 2, but it is actually a very good message deck as well. You're going to have a moment here with the cards to just kind of concentrate, see which pile really calls out to you. We're going to use different oracle decks as the reading reveals the need for them, because I have pretty much every oracle deck in existence at this particular point, or very close to it. Take a moment and I'll see you at the time of your reading. Welcome back. Hey, if you chose pile number 1, this is the tarot at the end of the rainbow. It's going to be the one bringing you your predictive spread. Before I get started, please don't forget to do things like subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. It helps my channel. It allows me to keep doing these type of readings. I love the tarot at the end of the rainbow. It's very vivid imagery. For me as a reader, it really does matter what the imagery is about. We're going to get started here. Oh, by the way, I have Patreon. It's linked in the description box down below, and it has weekly messages. And I do work pretty much exclusively with the archangels at this particular point, although I work with Goddess Kali regularly as well, which actually is a very compatible energy for Raphael's energy. The fierce mother protection aspect of Kali is the thing that I work with. Let's get going here. What does pile number 1 need to know? Please remember, psychics, people who work as psychics, or people who tap in very regularly, sometimes deal with energetic depletion, and it is actually an important aspect of your work to try and reach for your messages regularly. We have the 3 of Wands in reverse, which is being careful with your choices. It can be like a third-party interference card. We'll see what comes out with that. I'm not picking it up that way. With the 5 of Cups in the upright, I have the Justice card in reverse. Yes, that is the Justice card in reverse. Okay, out of balance. I got it. We have the Star card in reverse as well. We're going to take one more because we're doing divine messages. With the 6 of Pentacles in the upright, our underlying issues. We're going to talk about what the cards mean in just a moment. I have the Moon in the upright. I have the 4 of Cups in reverse. I have the Hierophant in reverse. Oh dear. With the 3 of Cups in reverse, please don't worry about reversals. Reversals are not bad. Reversals just have a different meaning. With the 5 of Wands in the upright, which is change, completion, 5 of Pentacles in the upright with the 4 of Wands in the upright. So pile number 1, the first thing you need to know is you're psychically depleting yourself a little bit too much, and that you need to do a little bit more balancing work. Make good choices around your intuition. The 5 of Cups in the upright is like when we get in as healers, as someone who is a psychic, as somebody who reaches out. Remember that you have an energy exchange with every single person that you encounter, whether it's through a healing capacity or not, and you take on their energy. And you do need to, these are the underlying issues cards, things happening behind the scenes with the 4 of Cups in reverse, is to remember that your subconscious stores things that you're not consciously aware of. You need to do a little bit more balancing work, and it can be in whatever aspect you need it to be. Literally standing on the ground in your bare feet can help quite a bit. It connects you to its negatively charged ions, but it helps bring you back into balance. But it does not have to be traditional traditional meditation if you struggle with that. Meditation always does help, but there are multiple things around that. Making sure you drink a glass of water, eat something healthy. Please remember to do a clearing practice after you have done any form of healing work. And this does not just exist in the psychic tarot realm. If you are an energy healer, if you are a therapist, if you are a psychologist, if you are an educator, you really do need to clear your energy, because the type of people who have Raphael as one of their chief guides are always giving this healing energy to others without realizing that they're taking something on. Now, very advanced healers have to do very, very little work to keep themselves in balance, because they did all of this groundwork already. This can cause hopelessness, that's that feeling of the star in reverse, but that it also can be, this is one of the cards for self-love and focusing on self, is to make sure that you give yourself back the energy that you have given to another person. So if you just had a client who is newly, freshly heartbroken, work on your heart chakra afterwards. All over YouTube, free recordings, type in heart chakra healing or heart healing or Raphael healing. You are going to work best if it is something that is going on in the background according to these cards. Is that you do not, it's almost like it's not that you resent it, it's that you feel like it's time wasting when you're trying to do the things that are more like, I give myself a sound bath, I go and I sit and I meditate and I clear the air and then I connect and I sit in a sacred circle. It's never wasted time, but if you're a little overscheduled, which this is the card, you're a little overscheduled sometimes, remember, it can be things throughout the course of the day. As you're driving to another appointment, as a for instance, you can very much have a healing recording on. It does not have to be something incredibly formal. But if you keep up the practice in your downtime, if you've got 15 minutes in between clients, as a for instance, doing something clearing and grounding and something that will raise your vibe, music works really, 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 really well. Raising your vibrational frequency is what you're being asked to do on a regular basis, because you're ending up a little bit depleted. If you don't like physical exercise, that's fine, but you do need to remember that being in flow requires some movement, and so to move around as much as you can. A good walk at the end of a client day can help as well. Because you're being just a little bit psychically depleted in your own ability to receive messages. It takes enormous amounts of energy to connect to divine forces, because we are mere mortals, you and I, and when you really are connecting to divine forces, you are connecting to an eternal, enormous force. And even the strongest people need that recharging time. Let's see what your fortune cards are saying. Otherwise, you seem to be really connected, but that you feel like isolated and alone and hopeless sometimes. It is hard, but when you are the person who is the healing, you also have to be your own healer. And that is something that you're being reminded of here with the two threes in reverse. Whenever you get a 3 in reverse, that is focus on self. Your choices for your emotional well-being are very, very important. And by the way, you will become more successful as you take better care of yourself. If that is part of what you're asking about, it's like, hey, listen, I was told everything was going to be mine. Where the heck is everything? Until you learn how to replenish your energy, it would be an actual punishment to give you great success, because you will work yourself into a breakdown. And you need to remember that. The reason we get nagged to do self-care, take care, replenish your energy, ground, eat properly, connect, is not because like we're, conscripts in a really strange army, but because it is the thing that will replenish you, and it is the thing that will make success possible for you. And until you really get a robust protocol around that, your guides hold things back because they're never trying to destroy you in the course of your purpose. Now, everybody who's on this particular pile, you are working in your purpose. The Four of Wands is one of the 1111 cards, and it is one of the spirit guide messages or a divine connection card. But you're too depleted sometimes. You get confused, apparently, as to what your path is meant to be and if you're on the right one. And it is simply because you're still struggling a little bit with taking the right steps to make the changes around how you replenish yourself. Now, replenishing yourself can be watching cartoons. Healthy escapism, honest to goodness, something that raises your vibration is what you're going towards. And with this Hierophant card in reverse, which this is one of my favorite Hierophants, please remember that is the Counselor's card, that is the Higher Education card, that is the Leader's card as well in a spiritual community. When you're in reverse like that, it is a non-conforming, almost a rebellious, a non-traditional energy. But when you're talking about the need to replenish your energetic balance, because that's what we've got here, the divine timing card is in reverse. Why isn't it time for the stuff? You're losing hope because you are still struggling with the need to practice robust self-care around your energy management. And I'm not trying to nag you. Please remember, I do these messages because I'm trying to help people who are trying to help other people. Your work is important, but so are you. And your guides will never treat you as if you are last in line, but you're a little prone to it. And so that's why they hold things back still. Let's keep going here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right. I just went outside and grounded, and I actually hiked up to a top of a small mountain today and sat and did all kinds of things. Luck. You are right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. Lion. Harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. Let me talk to you about the need to protect every stinking day that you do your work. It is not automatic. We have to take responsibility for our own well-being in this. You do need to have a mantra for protection. You need to have different recordings that you reach for protection. Literally everything is available to you on YouTube. Literally. All you have to do is protective frequency, evil eye protection, whatever it is. And the reason I'm not going to be supplying you links is whereas we work with the same universal energies, you have very good instincts and intuition of your own. And your guides are able to reach you through electronics exceptionally well, particularly if you work in this realm. This can get a little dicey because it's the soul's destiny, I believe, oracle. I always call it the Go Ahead Be Mean to Me deck because it has some messages sometimes. Woo! Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Oh, dudes, it has nothing to do with your karma. If you think that things aren't coming to you because of things that you did in the past or a past life thing, it has nothing to do with that. It's that you're not treating yourself as being as important as your job. Even when you're a universal vessel, which if you're watching this pile, you're a universal vessel. You're a universal plus vessel, but you're depleting yourself a little bit too much. You need to make those changes in order to be able to succeed. Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. People do come and go. Every single person who crosses our path has a lesson for us if we're willing to learn it. And then I have one more on this, which is denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. Ooh. Okay, you're spending too much time alone, apparently. Okay, this is a hard one because people who truly connect to divine energy, they can feel a little bit apart because it is not a common gift. It really is not. Now, I realize that there's likely to be hundreds of people watching this, but that doesn't make it common. There are billions of people in the world. It can be a little bit isolating, but your level of isolation is within your control. Reach out to different social sites that you do enjoy. It can be TikTok. Please limit anything that draws too much energy, but please try and find something that allows you to connect more to the people in your own community and not your clients. It is one of the hardest things to, even though we really, really care about our clients, clients are clients and friends are friends. And the reason that you need to make that distinction is that you can deeply, deeply care about a client, but it will never be an equal relationship because you're being paid to take care of them. And it really, most clients cannot move into the realm of friendship because of that, because it creates an energetic imbalance, because it really does exhaust people to interact with divine energy. We have celebration. Okay. One more on this. Here we go. Crossroads, soulmate. Okay, I want one more on this. And then I have abundance is near. Okay, so the celebration is a joyful energy. Remember, if you're here, the chances that you are what is called the crossroads guide are enormous. I am a crossroads guide. Again, I deal with Gabriel, and Gabriel gives people information, this, that, the other. Raphael helps you work with your feelings. The soulmate energy and friendship, allowing more people to get close to you if you are missing the love that you are hoping for, that divine connection. Please get as close to other people as you comfortably can while maintaining good boundaries. You may have struggled with boundaries. So many healers struggle with boundaries because when you have a universal gift, it feels wrong to ever deny it to people, but you have to be self-protective in order for success to come online. But if you've been waiting for a partner and you're like, I'm all by myself, nobody's ever coming, someone will come when the time is right. And your connection will be very profound indeed. And abundance is near. Please listen on you got to take really good care of yourself, and you have to maintain boundaries. Even with people, we all do this. Remember, like in the work that I do, I had to really like start reminding myself there is no such thing as a terror emergency. I don't answer business texts or calls outside of business hours at all any longer. The only thing I will do is when I get a booking, I send the Zoom link for it, because most of my clients have anxiety and it doesn't feel right to make them wait. But I have no client interaction when I'm not working. And it is a firm rule that I had to put in place, because if you make exceptions, that is a slippery slope. And it's not about not caring about other people. It's about making sure that you have enough energy to do your divine job. It is not wrong to deny somebody access so that you can recharge your batteries. If they feel uncared for, it's because they're not really examining the nature of the relationship. Now, some of you might actually be therapists, and there are, of course, different rules around the idea that somebody could be close to self-harm, but you do not need my input on that because you have actual professional training. Time of guilt and shame ends now. Hey, you got 2 guilt cards. Forgive yourself and begin to love yourself just as you are. A wonderful surprise is coming. Something entirely new awaits you. And then I have you cast a spell with your existence. Magic flows brightly and radiantly within you. The only thing I can think of here with the 2 3s in reverse and this kind of feeling left out and an isolated energy and a guilty energy, you have to learn how to take care of you because you're prone to caretaking as a healer. And that might be holding up a divine connection. If you're like, I thought I would have love. Am I just a thing that the divine is using? You are not just a thing the divine is using. But you really genuinely have to take very good care of yourself, because healers fall way too easily into, I do too much for the people around me, because you do have access to healing universal energy. Working on your heart chakra is always very key, and then do a balancing recording or a balancing activity. Yoga can be a balancing activity. Literally standing around on one foot after the other can also help you balance. It can be literal or it can be spiritual and metaphorical. But you're a little bit out of balance according to this. Everything will change when listen, nobody likes divine timing because it always seems like they're just telling me I'm going to wait forever. They're not telling you you're going to wait forever. They're not telling you you're going to wait forever. They're telling you, please listen, and then the time will be here. Here we go. It is hard, particularly when you have healing energy. It means that people who will take advantage of that are the first people that come towards you until you learn to protect yourself. And so, honest to goodness, it is one of the situation will improve. There's something better. Hey, listen, I've got that star card in reverse, which I rarely read as hopelessness, but it feels like that here. It feels like, and we've got communicate clearly. We've got the on the back, which is the underlying issue. They're trying to tell you, if you will please listen on the self-care, everything is going to get better. The success you were promised, and by the way, if success is translating to fame for you, please release that as a notion. Because that's when people really start molding what they're doing for the approval of others. And if you have a real divine connection, you don't do that. Well, you can start out with a real divine connection, but as soon as it starts being manipulated by the physical world, it becomes more earthly. And so if you're hearing success and thinking fame, stop, please. For some people, it might be a great deal of focus upon them, but it will only be when you're secure enough to be like, I do not alter my message or my content for the approval, the validation, the numbers, the likes. Instead, I do it because I'm guided to do it. And when you're really secure in that, your success expands. And it just means being happier, it means being healthier, it means knowing that your work is really achieving what you're hoping it will do, which is something that, nobody gets into this and stays in it for very long. if they're not willing to do some hard work. Because it is really hard. The crossroads guides go into other people's darkness and show them a way out of it. It is hard to be a crossroads guide because you face the darker energies that people possess day after day after day after day. And that is why taking exterior dedicated steps towards lightening your own load is the most important part of your success and the thing that might be holding you back. It can be very hard to prioritize yourself, particularly, you know, some people are going to have families and little kids to take care of, and how do you do that? You do it by like really starting to set some boundaries even with your kids sometimes. Like, it's time for you to go read your book or play with your toys for a while because mommy needs this time, or daddy needs this time, or I need this time. And it teaches them a very healthy view of self-protection. It is a skill that you are passing on by modeling the behavior. Okay. We have the art of life. There's no sacred light in the aura of an invisible life. Be bold in your skin. Let your love dance in sight. Self-isolation to try and recharge is a poor substitute. And we all do it sometimes, particularly people who work on YouTube are very likely to, because it's very much you face a camera and you're not having a lot of direction or interaction with actual human beings. You have to be able to allow yourself, and when I say have to, I usually add that you don't have to do anything. I'm asking you to please listen on this, because whoever is here is losing hope. You're losing hope that things are going to work out, and it's because you're having a lot of trouble hearing the message about you're too depleted. You have to respect it. You have to find a way to interact, even if it is through, like, I read Bored Panda and I comment on it, and like only on the things that interest me, and I, stay away from conflict online. Because you will never argue anyone on the internet into a different point of view. Just state yours, get the heck out of there. And then I have offerings. Abundance lies in the heart that allows, share more than expected, and see love come around. All right, so offerings for me, I do magic, and you got magic flows through you card with my Soul Helper or deck. Please don't forget on the new moon and on the full moon to light an inspiration or a devotional or an intentional candle, just a white candle that you anoint, and you call out to the powers that you work with. Even if you don't use the word Raphael, if you are a healer, you are reaching for that universal energy. Light that candle and make some form of offering. It can be flowers, it can be artwork. I usually do food because I create things from scratch, and reaching for creative energy is one of the things that you can do. I do not blame even one single soul for saying I feel bad about wasting food. It's never wasted if it's an offering. So like, if you feel that way about it, you're not really approaching it as an offering. You think it's being thrown away rather than consumed by the things that you are interacting with at an energetic level. But an offering is you offer energy to the universal source that is like, if you're like a AAA battery and that thing is a yacht battery, when you give some energy to it, the energy that you get back is phenomenally charged. And so that's what you're doing, is you're creating a space within you by sacrificing some energy to receive. New moon and full moon, you can look them up on Google. It will tell you the whole calendar year on that. Do a devotional candle, or it is called an intention candle as well, on that, and follow a new moon and a full moon ritual. My favorites have to do, Melanie Santos put them up years ago, and that is the person who I recommend if you have no idea how to do a new moon or a full moon ritual. She put up very concise, short form explanations that are a great starting point for anybody who hasn't done magic yet. Okay, so that pile number one was your message. Your success is dependent on your ability to protect and to replenish yourself. And please don't lose faith in the idea of hope, love, and connection, and good friendships. But that you may have been tested in those particular areas because they're trying to help you learn something that is key to that success. Okay, take care, be well. Hey there, welcome back. If you chose pile number 2, this is your message. We're going to put the number 2 over there so people can easily fast forward to their message. But there are always timestamps in the description box down below. Guys, we're using the Thelema deck for your particular pile. This is a message from Raphael for psychics, for healers. It can be for educators, it can be for therapists as well. If you need to book me for a private reading, you can do so exclusively through attherisingmoon.com. I have a Patreon. It'll be linked in the episode notes or the description box down below as well. And if you like the reading, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, because it's the thing that helps me continue to do these readings. We have the Seven of Wands in the upright, which is a card of overcoming. It can be struggles and challenges. Queen of Wands in reverse, okay? Three of Cups in the upright. We'll get into the meaning after I get everybody down. Ace of Wands in reverse. A lot of trigger stuff here. Knight of Cups in reverse. The Star in reverse. Empress in the upright. Judgment in reverse. Interesting. High Priestess in reverse. Six of Wands in the upright. We've got the Three of Pentacles in reverse and the Five of Wands in reverse. Okay, looks like you may have been struggling with being triggered or some frustration, and that it feels like the universe is just poking at you until such time as you lose your poop. They're trying to remind you that when you are easily frustrated, it is your emotional system trying to convey a need to you. That you need to indulge, be a little bit more self-indulgent. It is one of the things that will help with this energy. You have a friendship in your life that is like, we are meant to learn from the relationships that come into our lives. But this person is not on the same vibe as you are. They're not on the same wavelength any longer. You kind of know it, but like you've got this deeply loyal vein within you. You're having a little bit of trouble allowing yourself to release it. This is one of the cards of self-love. This is yet another card of like, sometimes it's triggering, sometimes it's the do nothing type of thing. Give yourself full permission to withdraw from any relationships that are too draining. What happens to readers and to healers all the time is that like people like really like the ability to find answers and to find access to that universal healing energy that Raphael in particular, it gives a lot of access to. And you have a tendency to fall into unbalanced relationships because you have greater access to that healing energy. You really do need to remember that friendships are meant to be fun. If somebody is coming to you with their woes, their struggles, can you pull some quick cards for me over and over and over again, step back. If you don't have as many questions and like they're also a reader, because that can happen, because a lot of us are like friends with other tarot readers and other psychics because we dwell in this land. But if it's not a balanced situation, you are meant to draw back from it. Do a little bit less for others and do a little bit more for yourself, because that is why your temper is running a little bit short. That is why you're having more problems with triggers and emotional fluctuations. Whenever that starts happening, it is not a sign that you are broken or that you are like ceding ground once gained. It's not like I'm losing here. This is the card of overcoming. It's also holding the high ground. Your emotional world suffers so much from the work that you do. You really do need to allow yourself forms of self-indulgence. Now, what can that mean? It can mean resting sometimes when you've got a lot to do and saying it doesn't really matter if there are dust bunnies underneath the bed right now, and allowing yourself to read a novel. That can be one of the forms of self-indulgence. It's not all about spending money or eating. It's about allowing yourself to pause until you feel better. And that is one of the things that's on this particular table. You have a poor relationship to rest because you might be suffering a little bit with lack of trust for the idea that this is a divine journey, because it hasn't worked out in the way that you think it's supposed to. They're waiting for you to treat yourself as being important enough to protect. And that is a message that I would not be surprised if it shows up in every single pile on this one, because people who have access to this divine gift, to this universal energy, are always told, hey, you're going to succeed, you're going to succeed, you're going to be a big deal. And they wonder, where is it? And it can be delayed all the way up until the end of a career if somebody does not actually lean in on but I do need to protect myself. I do need to make sure that I take as good care of me as I take of other people. Because healers are way too prone to self-depletion, which leads to self-damage. And the divine will never help you hurt yourself. It's that simple. If you are burned out, if you are tired, if you are in any way strung a little bit too thin, expect your progress to slow down, as they're like, you gotta take care of yourself. Now, once you get to like replenished, you just have to have a really good routine around putting any new relationships through a litmus test of, do I have fun with this? Is this person somebody I laugh with? Is this, because everybody can end up in the, being the supportive friend category, and healers are so good at it that other people really forget that it's like, just because I have this gift doesn't mean it's all I ever want to do. Do you ever like to talk about movies or books or TV? Like, you need to remember that part. Your friendships, you need slightly better judgment in who you think of as a friend. If your friends are still like, my gosh, you're so good at listening, thank you, that's not really a friendship. That's a non-played client interaction, because they're coming towards you, and it's okay to do that sometimes, but it cannot be the bulk of your friendships. And you really do need to focus on self just a little bit more according to this. It's time for a change. Do not wait or put off decisions any longer. This is a card of managed change. When it's in reverse like that, your deepest desires constrain you. Let them go and clear your mind. Hey, so this is not an insult, but this is a codependency card. Sometimes, because healers almost always start out in codependent relationships, because they take all of that divine love that is meant for the exterior world and they try to give it to one person. So they have a tendency to pick partners of projects to begin with, people who really, really need healing. And it hardly ever works out. It just really doesn't. But then they don't realize that transference is a big issue, where codependency can then transfer to your professional relationships and to your personal relationships outside of romantic relationships. And if you're doing too much in relationships and thinking that that's what's expected of you, that is a codependent energy. Self-respect, which is one of the meanings of the Knight of Cups, means that you draw a limit on how much you will actually give to another person. It is not selfish to be self-protective. This is actually a really good draw, but remember that part. When you are getting triggered a lot, it is because your whole system is trying to tell you something. It's telling you, I don't have enough of the stuff that keeps me happy and balanced. And too often, way too often, we neglect our personal relationships because we feel a professional imperative to help others. Remember, you need to treat yourself like you're your client. You need to treat yourself like you're the client, where taking care of that person is the most important thing in your off hours. Now, every now and then we have to sacrifice a little bit for other people, but it cannot be a way of life in your relationships. And that's the only thing I've got here, is just be a little bit careful with your friendships. You're not recognizing how that may have become a codependent space. When you have good advice, when you have access to healing knowledge or to healing energy from the divine, other people can actually sense it. You have to be very good at setting your own limits, because other people can't help it. It's a magical substance that they're like kind of interacting with. So like, you don't answer texts immediately, that type of thing. Please quit putting so many obligations on you. You will be guided towards what you're really meant to do. Social invitations, creative pursuits, and joy with strong sun moon. Joy, creative pursuits, joy, that's what friendships are. The bulk of a friendship is supposed to be about enjoying another person's company, not being their support through rough times. I want to add something to that. Anybody can have a long-term relationship that turns towards, oh my gosh, my best friend's husband just died, she's a wreck, and I have to be there for her. That is fine, but you do need to recognize that a crisis point does not last more than 3 to 6 months. And that after that, people really, and that is not putting a time frame on somebody else's guilt, it is putting a limit on how much you can actually reasonably give before it starts hurting your ability to take care of self. We all have to be somebody else's rock sometimes, but it is never actually our job to hurt ourselves in that pursuit of trying to help another person. Outside of a crisis, your relationships are meant to be fun. They are meant to, hey, we went here, we did this, we laughed a whole bunch. And I have some people on my podcast who I clearly have good friendships with because we laugh all the time. That's your litmus test. How much am I laughing? Your relationships are meant to bring you joy, and not just the joy of doing for others, which healers, it is a slippery slope on that, and they really do hold back progress until we learn it. So slight tendency towards codependency being reflected in impatience, frustration, Wait, compromise, get more information, unlikely. Let's stop with that one. Wait, compromise. We've got remain positive. You have a false sense of emergency. You have a false sense of urgency around things like texts and replying, and you don't ever want to leave anybody hanging because I think you got ghosted or something. And please remember that, like, you do not need to, if you're tired, don't reply to a text. If you're tired, don't reply to an email. If a client in particular, because I'm asking, this is largely a reading for people who work in this realm. If they're asking something unreasonable, I need you to understand no response is a response. And that does happen to me sometimes where somebody will ask something that is absolutely unreasonable and I just let it float by into the universe. It's not that that person is evil or bad or trying to take advantage. They may really just not be thinking of it as like, I have hundreds of clients, right? And if everybody did this, I'd be exhausted all the time. And you have to have good, strong boundaries. Please remember, this is your chief message. The sign that you're missing is that when you are running out of patience with yourself and others, when you are frustrated, when you are angry, when even the smallest setback can send you spiraling into a trigger, it is not a sign that you are broken. It is a sign that you need to take time to recharge yourself and to focus on yourself. And it will never, ever, ever, ever be selfish. It will be, this is the self-love card with your success and your progress on it. That is what is holding up things for you, is you have to be willing. And normally, like I said, when I use the word have to, I'm like, hey, you don't have to do anything. This is a divine message. They're trying to tell you this is what it really hinges upon, is your ability to recognize boundaries, your distance between yourself and others, and that includes friendships and people that you love. And your ability to take good care of yourself, because the divine will never, ever, ever, ever burn you out. But you will through your choices if you're not careful. And they really, really, really do hold everything back until we are able to, this is the Three of Pentacles in reverse, focus on self, in being able to rest. Rest is not evil. Rest is not laziness. Rest is necessary for people who are true conduits for divine energy, which means you're the vessel. You have that healing energy that other people need to interact with. And it is educators, it is therapists, it is tarot readers, it is healers. We have behind a mask, which is sublimation of feelings, playing it safe, and letting go. Okay, so your emotional regulation issues that you appear to be experiencing that are confusing you a little bit have to do with psychic and energetic depletion. It can cause sadness, it can cause depression, and the first energy that you really encounter is a little bit of a trigger energy around anger. It's completely normal, by the way. It is completely normal. It is such a natural thing that it's kind of like you're a fuel pump. And, sooner or later the tanker has to come in and replenish the well within. You can't just give endlessly, and you can't chase success and expect it to do anything other than make you tired, because universal energy is enormous and it really can start to fry people if they are not able to focus on their inner world in a way that focuses on self. Quite frequently, people who are very, very psychic, their mind will start retreating into escapist beliefs or wishes or visions about other people, about the soulmate, about the friendship, about the success, because that's the only way they know how to recharge themselves. And it's not that it's a bad way, it's just it's not always accurate information. And focusing on self is one of the ways to start getting more accurate information about what you're supposed to do next. We don't get detailed visions of our future. We don't. We do for other people. And why is that? Is that unfair? It's because it would give you way too much power, and it's living your life to outcomes rather than, it's the surrender energy. We're all asked to surrender on a divine journey, which means that you have to accept that you came here with a gift and that you will interact with the gift given to you by others, but that your intuition is on a need-to-know basis, and they're the ones that determine what you need to know. Don't waste your energy asking and asking and asking and asking when you're reading. If you really need other answers, go to a different reader and somebody that you trust. We have the Green Man. The forces of nature favor you. On the back is the imagination clouds your judgment card, the Chimera, which really can happen. When you're really psychically depleted, please remember it's a many worlds theory where there are many possibilities out there. And the visions that can come to people who are truly psychic are often related to that ungrounded reality. This is a card for grounding. Please do not, I'm such a broken record about it. I swear, I wish that I did not have to say that word for a week. But it's always so necessary. Grounding is the thing that will bring you your accurate intuition, because it pins it to this reality rather than to the amazing number of possibilities that are out there, the endless possibilities, because they truly are endless. Grounding is the thing that brings you the real answers. Crap. The Chimera and Winds of Change with, oh, you've got an attachment. An attachment, jealousy, and then love. It's a codependency attachment. Please remember, I had to recover from codependency. It has nothing to do with strength of character or talents. It has to do with you being really powerful and something saying, yummy. Let me plug into that. Do attachment removals regularly. They're all over YouTube. I like the Sound Energy Alchemist. I like the Sound Healers. I had a preferred source. Unfortunately, that guy kind of got caught in an ungrounded reality, and I no longer recommend his particular work. But look for attachment removals. I have one up on my channel that is, I invoked Raphael. It was down by the ocean. Please remember, fresh water and seawater are two of the things that can really, really, really help clear your energy. So pile number 2, you're working ever so slightly with, you've still got an attachment to your self-image and your self-love through the eyes of others, to do a little bit of work on that and to know that it has nothing to do with your strength of character. It is a natural and a normal thing for people who have tremendous gifts. Other people, their first encounter with self-love is through the validation that other people talking to them about their gifts can bring to them. Self-love, self-regulation comes from self-love. Self-regulation, which means regulated emotions, which means getting rid of that, boy, I get triggered and then I can't really do anything and I'm really kind of angry and I'm starting to get hopeless and then I cry uncontrollably. It's because you need to balance more frequently as well. There are some friendships in your life. If you have actually gotten rid of all codependent romantic connections, please remember it transfers easily to other areas of your life, family and friendships, to do a little bit of work around that, which also includes some shielding work. Again, the 2 Sound Energy Alchemists, they have great ones for shielding. Because you're an empath or you have to be careful of the empath narcissist paradigm. And so you want to do shielding work. There is an excellent one from, I believe it is the Sound Energy Alchemist, that is a shield for against narcissists and abusers. They will come to you in the friendship form, and they're awfully good at hiding it in friendships for really long periods of time because there's less closeness in friendships. So unfortunately, people with, and are they always aware of their ulterior motives? No, because there is a universal attachment with it. Quite frequently, they don't know that they're being influenced by something. So just be aware of that. Pile number 2, you've got a little bit of a delay on success as you resolve something that is, don't think of it as a character flaw, please. Codependency is just something where your ability to, everything that you need to do to take care of yourself is within. Don't look to an exterior source from a person or a relationship or a group. Find your connection within. Examine your friendships. You got a warning around that one, okay? Pile number 2, keep working on that, and success actually will be yours. You did have the 6 of Wands in the upright. Try on the removal of attachments and shielding yourself, particularly before working and particularly afterwards as well, because whenever you encounter a client, you are interacting with their attachments. I will have to do an attachment removal after this because I just encountered that energy, okay? It is not a judgment. It is just one of the perils of this very vast and magical land. Take care, be well. If you need me for a private reading, at therisingmoon.com is the only way to book me. I will never approach you in comment sections. I do have a Patreon that does feature spirit guide messages weekly and monthly, and then I'm also teaching tarot. I'm particularly in reverse at this particular point, but I will be moving on to simply teaching tarot at some point. Okay, take care, be well. Okay guys, we are back. This is pile number 3. If you chose pile number 3, this is your reading. I'm going to put the number 3 over there so people can easily fast forward to their readings, but there are timestamps in the description box down below. There always are. What am I dealing with here? Yeah, this is the Cirque de Tarot. I thought for a moment it was the Dragon Tarot. It's not. It's the Cirque de Tarot. If you need to book me for a private reading, there is a link to my website at therisingmoon.com. It's the only way to book me. That is in the description box down below. I also have a Patreon that has weekly and monthly spirit guide messages. And that is also linked below. And don't forget my podcast, Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica. Let's get going for pile number 3 and their message from Raphael, which is the universal healing energy. The Archangel energies are the purest form of a particular form of energy. Raphael is the healer. Gabriel, which is my chief messenger, is the messenger energy. We just got the Hanged Man in the upright. We're going to put that over here because I was in the middle of cutting. Here we go. I have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, an easing of difficult circumstances, 3 of Swords in reverse, healing. I have the 10 of Swords in the upright. For me, that is a spiritual alignment card. I have the 2 of Wands in the upright. We're going to go with the Spirit Guide spread on this one. 4 of Swords in reverse, taking action. This is a crossroads energy. We'll get to what the meanings of the cards here in a moment. 4 of Wands in reverse, really another attachment one, okay. With the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, bringing that to an end. Ace of Cups in the upright. Death in the upright. Rebirth, new beginnings. Hierophant in reverse, and we're going to take our 2 clarifiers. 4 of Pentacles in the upright, which is a protecting energy, and the 10 of Cups in the upright, which is the card for miracles, among other things. But the Hanged Man in the upright is a things being held in stasis until we take a new perspective on things energy. Pile number 3. This is a little bit interesting. I have to say this, if you end up watching all these piles, you're going to be like, she said the same thing in like all piles so far. Yes, it is, because it is one of the perils of this particular land, is other people that you interact with. This is for psychic, it's for readers, it's for healers, it's for educators, it's for therapists. If you work in a healing capacity for others, remember, people have attachments, and it does have to do with their shadow work. It's not a sinister thing. It doesn't mean they're evil. It doesn't mean they're bad. It doesn't mean they're polluted. But what it does mean is you have to have good spiritual hygiene practices where you scrub your energy up after every single day. What y'all can't see is that I have a water bowl behind me that was blessed, empowered, and activated. I do a lot of magic, and so I do a magic ceremony every single day to protect myself, and I will still have to clear afterwards. And it is not because I'm not doing enough, it's because these are eternal forces and I am just a little mortal person. And so are you. These are big universal energies. They take some work to shed. Okay, so you've got a slight attachment energy around that. Looks like it's getting better on that. Healing, Knight of Pentacles, brings something to an end after every single healing session. Alignment is important as well, which is a form of connection. But remember, one of the ways to align spiritually is to literally stand on the ground. It is best if you can be in your bare feet and to breathe in and out. And every time you take a breath in, concentrate on one of your chakras, which are the energy wheels that have your universal energy that connect you to the different forms of that mega universal energy, which we're dealing with Raphael, the spirit of healing, located in the heart chakra. But as you breathe in, you're going to imagine white light coming down through your crown chakra, which is Uriel, through your third eye, which is Metatron, through your throat chakra, which is Gabriel, your heart chakra, which is Raphael, your solar plexus chakra, which is Shemuel in my belief system, and then through your sacral chakra, which is Ariel, and then through your root chakra, which is Michael. Now, it took longer to say that than it does to do that. You take a breath in and you think the word Uriel, and you imagine light coming down through your heart, through your crown chakra. You need to align afterwards. It will keep you from feeling emotionally depleted. You may have been noticing a lot of fatigue. And that's the remedy for it. Because even though the attachments aren't, you seem pretty healthy, by the way. You seem pretty healthy, pile number 3. There's nothing very active here that's concerning me, but it's the thing that's making you feel a little bit drained sometimes. Like you should have noticed it within the last, I want to say 18 months to 2 years, where it's like, I used to have more energy than this. I must be getting older. No, you're not getting older. It's that your conscious world and your subconscious world are things that you connect to very, very easily. And because you're very connected, you're not realizing that those universal attachments are still there and trying to take your energy, and some of your subconscious energy is going towards protecting yourself. It is keeping you from being in flow and being fully connected and from feeling that energy. That interaction with universal and divine energy is meant to invigorate you. but it can be very draining when you give all of that energy to another person. And it looks like you're healthy, but that you're not thinking of those attachments are there whether or not they can get to my conscious mind. They're attacking my subconscious mind, and that is the thing that is making me feel so bone tired. You need to do some energy healing. You need to take the steps. I just said this to the last pile. You got to treat yourself like your own client and heal your energy every day. Using the cosmic insights, see what they're saying. Fire sign, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, please do not forget to work on your sacral chakra. That is the one that people really struggle with doing on a regular basis because it frequently doesn't feel so great in the aftermath. You're like, I'm grumpy, I'm angry, It's because your client's energies can actually get a little bit stored there. And it is the first, frustration is the first sign of fatigue. Okay? Move on. Someone is unavailable. Waste time, it's over. Pets. And then, addiction. Oh. And then guardian. So remember, addiction is not necessarily, the gambling card is not necessarily addiction in the like, hey, you have a substance abuse problem. People can become addicted to your energy and become very depleting, and they may not even be aware that that's what they're doing sometimes, and it can really be confusing. The pet's energy is, honest to goodness, the unconditional love energy that comes from pets. Now, I will tell you something that can be a little bit hard to hear, and like, please understand that I'm in the middle of it right now. There is actually a codependent attachment with our relationship to pets, and that is not to say don't have pets. It's just that if you've been trying to resolve codependency, which almost every healer is, because initially they try and take that healing energy into their personal realm rather than into their professional one, and so they end up with an attachment that they have to clear. 4 wands in reverse is an attachment card. Bringing an end to it and bringing an end to a cycle. If you have a period in your life where I just had to put my beloved dog Oscar to sleep last month, and he was 15 and it really was time. He was between 14 and 15, they weren't really sure because he was found abandoned on a highway as an adult dog. I had him for 10 years. And I knew in the aftermath that it's like, I can't get another pet for a year. I can't get another pet for a year because it is a form of codependency, because that animal is completely dependent on you. It is the least toxic form. And that if you're really trying to step into your individual power, that is something that you will need to work on a little bit, is allowing yourself a year's gap in any form of dependent relationship. That is one of the last ways to clear your energy, codependency being a form of addiction, to please keep that part in mind. And if a part of you starts going crazy at the idea of not having, that universal love is available to through your self-love. It can be really hard because we get such wonderful love from our pets, but they are also draining in that you can have the flu and you still have to walk your dog. It is a form of a dependent relationship. It's the healthiest form, but you have to allow yourself to release it and heal from it, and you have to treat it like any other form of addiction, which is that it takes a little bit to clear it. And a 12-month cycle will clear your energy entirely. I'm picking everything up because I'm going to do something a little bit different for this particular deck, this particular group, to remember that all forms of codependency they come on a sliding scale of toxicity, and that there is a codependent attachment with our pets because of the nature of the relationship, and to let it clear. And I did a podcast on the role of pets as spirit guides. That's what that guardian thing was about. I would suggest you listen to it, but in short, our pets are a form of spirit guide, helping us resolve our dark trauma or our shadow work. Let's keep going here. We're going to use the archetype deck because otherwise you're perfectly healthy. Otherwise, you're doing really, really well. You just may be like, hey, what do I need to know? And that's why you're here on this one. We have vampire. Makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Hey, guys, what did I just say at the beginning of this about you're not realizing that there are attachments on your clients? And even if you're not consciously interacting with them, your subconscious is. It is draining to do this work. And listen, vampire is a very sensationalized and dramatic and, feels kind of outlandish to talk about. Please stop thinking about them as vampires and start thinking about them as mosquitoes or ticks. Whenever you see a client, you're going for a walk in the woods, and there are different forms of parasitic life forms, mosquitoes and ticks, that want to feed off of you. And in a very literal 3D sense, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. You can't go for a walk in the woods without, like, you know, tick protection at different times of the year. You can't go for a walk in the healing realms without energetic protection. I have so much protection every single day, and I still have to do attachment clears. I will have to clear this whole house after I'm done here. I should have known when I set out to do a healer's one that it'd be like I'm walking through the valley over here with all the attachments. But it's a normal and it's a natural thing. Don't take it personally. It isn't about something you're doing wrong. It's just something that is. We have Avenger. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Balance, clear, and balance, clear, and balance, clear, and balance. Make that your mantra. What do I do every day? I clear, I balance, I clear, I balance. You can balance through chakra recordings. There are great ones that are only 10 minutes long. It does not have to be arduous to do this stuff. And you can do other things. You can sit there and, like, you know, read, please don't have it be making noise. Don't have something that interferes with your ability to receive that frequency. But you can sit there and read a book while you're doing a balancing recording in the background, and it will do the work because it interacts with your subconscious mind, which you, healthy pile number 3, that's where it is. It's in your subconscious, and you will never get strong enough for it to not be there. It has nothing to do with your prowess. It has nothing to do with your power. It has nothing to do with how special you are to be a universal vessel. It has to do with these are eternal forces. And they have a resilience because they cannot die. Now, there is one form, invoking Kali. Kali can kill demons. It's just that you really have to be in a very strong magic practice to work with what is goddess of death and time. And I do work with Kali, but I have, like, my magic practice is every single day of my life in some capacity. I'm just saying, don't go, you know how you see those people with German Shepherds that are really reactive to other people, and it's clear that they really don't know how to be a dog handler, but they got this big tough dog? It's a little bit like that. You have to learn how to handle the power that you are harnessing by understanding that it is not about weakness or fault or about you doing something wrong. It's just like, yep, this just is. If I worked in hazmat, I would have to take some form of detoxifying shower every single time after work because I wouldn't want to be bringing that radiation home. Every single day that you work, you have to detox. God. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within you and others. Dudes, did I just say it was eternal, or did I just say it was eternal? I, in fact, did say it is an eternal force. What comes with your ability to connect to the divine is the opposite energy. It is present because it is part of this energy. It is the opposite energy. Please stop thinking about it as being about being powerful. It just is. Vampire, vengeance, and God. That will, you have to balance. You have to balance. You have to balance. You have to clear. I also did a podcast on how to clear your psychic eye. I will try to remember to link it for this particular pile. I really will. All right, here we go. I have Elixir of Life. That is the recharging energy of a divine connection. It's also the reason that this energy comes towards it. That is like, it is the biggest, best snack for that energy. It's because it's the purest form. If you're interacting with divine forces, you're interacting with the purest life force that there is. And that is why this comes in. Because you're actually trying to help your clients rid themselves of that, so it also tries to attack you from that. But when you're very healthy, you can think it's not here, I'm doing my work. You notice it through a more emotional exhaustion, okay? Good luck. And what more do we want here? Concealment. Okay. Passion on the back. Everything's held back until we get into that particular healthy energy because our divine team will not help hurt us. It's one of my biggest struggles with clients, and it may be for you too, because this is very likely to be attracting other professionals, is getting them to understand that our spirit guides aren't out to torture us, but they will hold things back until they're actually going to be good for us. It's why, like, people can do so much magic trying to bring a particular love partner towards them, as a for instance, and it won't work out and it won't work out. It's because if you work with eternal and divine forces, they literally are sworn not to participate in hurting you. And if you're saying, but it hurts me when everything is held back, it protects you in a way that you're not recognizing if you don't get that interacting with this world exposes you to a form of danger that you have to treat with respect for your whole life. You want to think of it as kind of owning a gun and having to have very, very strong safety practices around it. If you go out to the firing range every single day, you need to store and lock your weapon afterwards and clear the chamber. And I'm not a gun owner. I actually don't like guns. The reason that came to me, I have absolutely no idea. Probably because somebody needed to hear it that way. Because I'm not a gun person. I did grow up in an area where people had to hunt for food. It was very economically depressed, so I'm not against it either. It's just that it's not my personal bag. The hourglass, time is of the essence. The wolf, beware who you trust. Air, seek a union and minded spirit. Okay. Every time you connect, there is something there that is not to be trusted because it is not of the energy that you're reaching for, but it is present regardless. And you can protect yourself like crazy, but this thing, you have to remember, if this is the universal force of life, this is the universal force of darkness. It's there. You can't do anything to eradicate it because it's part of basically matter. It is part of what makes up our reality. And it isn't about a personal judgment. Every time you reach out, you need to clear. Water emotions are at their peak. The other thing is that you might find is that when you have been doing a bunch of this work, you might have like weird roller coaster emotions sometimes. Is there anything else I want to look at here? Yeah, there is. I'm going to use the House of the Night Oracle, which I didn't use for any other pile, because we're dealing with subconscious stuff that you're like, the only way you'll notice it is through energy depletion. Sometimes being a little short on patience. Remembering that, unfortunately, codependent relationships are a natural realm for healers, and that we do have to, we can think we're entirely healed, but to remember that clearing your energy from any form of dependency is really the thing that will help you the most as well. In terms of protecting you in your friendships, in your, like the idea that when you become successful, if you get rid of all codependent attachments, then you don't have to worry about like people trying to sabotage you at the same level, because it can come through in the 3D, because subconscious attachments influence people's 3D behavior all the time and they don't know it. Oath, self-worth, and beauty. Oh, nice. Growth, they just want you. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Just please make the commitment to yourself to try, and this is one of the loving energies, by grounding as well. It really can be as simple as taking a walk, guys, but you need to be present, and you need to be cognizant of the idea that I'm getting rid of my attachments. Every now and then, I have to take that extra step, as I outlined in that podcast, about having to take literal effing garlic with honey. And I say it that way because it's not the easiest thing to do. You chop up a big clove of raw garlic, let it sit out for 10 minutes so it becomes super duper pungent, and then you mix it up with a tablespoon of honey and you swallow it. And why does that help clear attachments? It changes your body chemistry ever so slightly. The chemical, I believe it's pronounced allicin, but I'm not positive, that develops from that it has a sulfurish compound. It's an antibiotic. It will get rid of attachments. It has an antibiotic quality to it. Let's go for one more, and then we're gonna close out this particular pile, because it was not a big lesson. It really wasn't. You look really healthy. It's just that you seem like you're not aware that it's like, no, they're still there because they're eternal. They're eternal. The love of your dragon reaches out to you. The realm of your truth is opening up. You will also get very clear messages on what you're supposed to do when you take the steps to remove attachments as much as you humanly can. You cast a spell with your existence as well. Magic flows brightly and radiantly within you. The more work you do to get rid of attachments, the more you will receive actionable and clear and guided energy. And you will be tired afterwards sometimes, because we are mortal vessels. Take care of yourself, pay attention to your energy level, and when you cannot get rid of fatigue, Don't think that you're broken. Think, okay, I have an attachment, I need to take care of it. Sound Energy Alchemist is the one that I'm currently recommending the most. I also like the sound healers, particularly for healers. They have a tarot recording for the sun, and that is another one that can help you get rid of attachments. Thanks so much for joining me. If you need me for a private reading, at therisingmoon.com is the only way to book me, and you can always find Logical Magic Examining Esoterica. My podcast video version is also up on this channel. Take care, be well. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 4, this is your reading. We're putting the number 4 over there so that people can easily fast forward to their readings. But there are timestamps in the description box down below. Guys, before I get started, please don't forget to do things like subscribe. It helps my channel. And hit that thumbs up button if you like the reading. If you want to leave me a comment, I always appreciate seeing them. It can take me a little bit to respond because I have a lot of stuff going on sometimes, like everybody else. Here we go. Let's get going for pile number 4. This is a reading for psychics, for empaths, and for healers. And I am going to have to clear like crazy because we've had a lot of messages about attachments. And so let me go into the attachment speech before I even get started. Oh, if you need to book me for a private reading, at therisingmoon.com, linked in the description box down below. So attachments are the realm that, like, it's just a natural part of being a psychic, being an empath, and being a healer. Please don't ever think I must be doing something wrong if I'm being told that I have attachments. If you reach into this realm, they just exist there, and you have to take the steps to get rid of them. And you can't get strong enough that the like minor ones just kind of bounce off you, but some energy goes into it, so it's just best to do clearings every day. I have the King of Swords in reverse, which can be facing a difficult truth. 2 Cups in reverse about relationships that might not be serving you. I have the Judgment card in reverse. Reversals are not bad. Ace of Cups in the upright. I always have to say that because people have a negative association with reversals and they just have a different meaning. Judgment in reverse. Ace of Cups in the upright. And then I have the Justice card in the upright, which everything coming out in a balanced state. 5 of Cups in reverse. Easing of a difficult set of circumstances. Page of Cups in the upright. Like the 5s are better in reverse. Page of Cups in the upright. I have the Ace of Pentacles in the upright. This is very good, actually. These are, of course, are the underlying issues. 3 of Wands in reverse. 3 of Swords in reverse. Good. I always like 3 of Swords in reverse because it is like the resolution of pain. Page of Pentacles in reverse, letting things go, with the Sun in the upright, which is healing and new beginnings. Excellent energy on this one. For some people, it can be literal babies. Due to the nature of this reading, I am going to discount that as a possibility. So pile number 4, the very first thing I need to talk to you about is that there is a relationship in your life where the person is making some mistakes and you can totally see it and you're wondering what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to do anything. And why? Because that person needs to learn from it. They will figure it out. They're not sitting over there waiting for you to come along and intervene, by the way. They're trying real hard, but like you're seeing them and you can see them try some things and you're like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? You're supposed to have enough love to understand that we learn the most through our mistakes sometimes. And to just be there and know that they will come out in a better balanced state. It's going to take a little bit of time, but that you are not meant to be intervening. Now that is such a particular message. It may be for one person, but somebody here needed to hear that. You are not meant to be intervening in the poor choices of somebody that you have been close to. It really might be around substance abuse, but it could be financial as well. They don't know how to resolve a problem, so they're falling back into old habits. And the best thing that you can do is not be highly present for them, because it will register with them that it's like, I don't get what I'm doing here. All right, here we go. Let's go with the earth element energy. I guess, wait, give me another minute with the tarot, because I don't think that's the only message on this one. It's not. Your choices, pile number 4, this is great because the majority of these piles have been very, very, like, you know, there's been a warning on attachments and remembering that it's not a personal judgment. It's just one of the perils of this land. That you have to kind of inoculate yourself with cleaning your energy up whenever you reach into this world. That it is one of the, like, responsibilities that we have to self. But your energy looks really, really good. I have one other message for people who are wondering, like, do I get a person, or is it true that healers just end up alone because they focus so much on exterior relationships because that's their divine calling? If it is truly important to you Once you do all your healing work, when you have your strong practices, your soulmate will find you. You just have to allow for the concept of one of the meanings of the Justice card is, in fact, the Divine Timing card. It will come to you when you're healed, and then there is a new beginning, and it is very positive. It is, this is funny. On this one, this is the Clarity deck. I don't often pay too much attention. Love and money. Good things are coming towards you. You just kind of have to understand that you're not always on duty, okay? Because there's this personal relationship there that you're like, really is the first thing that caught my eye. Other than that, pile number 4, just keep plugging along and doing your work. Success is coming to you at the time that is actually right. And if you're asking why isn't it time yet, it's because like it's a little bit of a catch-22. It's like because you're still asking that. You're not in a fully surrendered energy. And we are really asked to surrender to it. When it's time, and when it's not, and I'm okay. They will bring us lessons about being self-protective, learning how to protect your money, as a for instance, is one of the things that can come through. But you're still on track for everything. If you've got any doubt around it, you don't need to. Earth Dragon, as above, so below. That's a grounding energy. It's also practicing what you preach. A lot of times healers don't take very good care of themselves. Healers have a tendency to run themselves just a little bit ragged, and that's just a normal thing. Fire Tiger, share your gifts. I love this deck. It's the Chinese 5 Elements, Vicky Eskandar's deck. I interviewed her for my podcast, and I love this deck. It cheers me up to read it every single time. Earth Sheep, return to your center. Haha. Ground before and after work. Ground before and after work. Ground before and after work. And if you're like, hey, I'm a psychic, but I'm not working in that realm, if you are reaching out into that realm, ground before and after, ground before and after. Clear, ground, take good care of yourself. Everything is on track. You actually look like you're not bad with protective practices. It really does. It looks like you're good about honoring your own emotional needs. Looks like you're good about honoring your own emotional needs. Whatever you had to heal from, it is often healers do carry their own wounds that they have to learn how to resolve. It's not fun, but it's a normal part of this. Everything that you're experiencing is just part of a normal experience with this particular realm. I know it can be confusing, but things do come to us when they're meant to. And whenever we're like, why not? Why? It's like, well, please lean in on your spiritual connection, on your spiritual practices, on taking really good care of yourself, on being mindful, which is being in the present moment, which is instead of saying, why isn't the thing that I want here yet? You look around and you go, look at everything I have. Because honest to goodness, even just the fact that you have gifts are like, not everybody does. It is said that everyone has psychic abilities. It's true. A very small percentage of people can reliably access them. So it's a possibility for everybody to connect, but it's a fairly rare person who's able to do so without training from a very, very young age. We have presence. You're being asked to spend more time in the present moment, to stop ruminating about the past or longing for the future. Your life is happening right now, and when you're not present for it, if you miss all of its beauty. That is the only reminder here. Because the only thing I have here is that you look pretty healthy, but there's a part of you that's like, I guess it's just not going to happen. That is a different form of longing. Resignation is it's the longing turned on its head. No, that's not what it is. It's that it can be really challenging, particularly when we want something. When we're like, I would like the this, the that, the home, the trip, the person. It can be really challenging because it's like, but I'm so used to everything that I have. That is why taking a moment every single day to walk around your home, to walk around your neighborhood, to look around your life, to be like, I like that tree, I like that book, oh my gosh, look at that desk, it's so cool. Understanding how blessed you really are, even as you wait, to try and be in better alignment. Here's the thing, pile number 4, everything exists in degrees. And this is the gentlest reminder of it's coming. I know that you don't think it is, but it's coming. It's that you had to be in a very established practice of self-care, which you didn't excel at when you were younger. And you can admit that because you're a super healthy person, according to these cards. All right, we have reassess. You're being asked to take stock of your life and let go of anything or anyone that no longer makes you happy. Notice who and what brings you joy and what doesn't. It's time for some life cleanup. There is that like relationship thing where you're being asked to step back just a little bit. Will that person attempt to engage with you? Oddly enough, I really don't believe so. But like, I think that you feel like, because you have like genuine love for this person, remember genuine love is sometimes watching somebody figure it out themselves that will give them the most confidence, okay? There's just somebody in your life who's struggling with like falling back into old habits and you're not sure what to do with it. And you're not meant to do anything with it other than not be hyper present for them when they're making unhealthy choices, because it does register with them. It really does register with them. Water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces is one of the emotional wellness cards as well. That Raphael, who we're talking to chiefly today, is contained within your heart chakra, and water is the element that Raphael is most chiefly connected to. Caution. Find out more information. Don't overwork yourself. Yeah, that's the only thing, is that like, you're not thinking of it this way. When you ask, why isn't it time yet? You're actually expressing dissatisfaction, which is completely within bounds. It's just you're not thinking of it that way. It's when you're not satisfied with what you have, you're not actually trusting that there is more. That it's like, hey, if it's not time, it's not time. So what do I currently have that is awesome? And some days there won't be much. Some days you're going to cry. Some days you're going to be angry. Some days are going to be more challenging than others. But you will always find your way back to your center. Oop, narcissist, someone is too full of themselves. Okay. Pregnancy, someone is expecting. That's a baby card as well, but that's a new beginning card. Yeah. All right. Okay. So the water sign thing is not necessarily about astrology. And you can hear it in my voice how much I don't want to start talking about this, but I have to. So one of the things on this table is that this particular set of people, like divine timing brings them more, and like blossoming abundance and all kinds of lovely things. You're not recognizing that that will also draw narcissists to you in like a flock. That you really have to be aware of it, even in people who are your friends. You have to pay very close attention to how you feel around somebody. Can you really be your authentic self? The thing that I always really like to talk about as like a litmus test for, like, I actually am a little bit of a nerd. And I look like a little bit of a nerd. I look like somebody who's like, you read a lot, don't you? It's like, yes, I absolutely do. But I like science fiction. And I like all kinds of books that are a little bit outside the beaten path, or I like vaguely surrealist art. And like, there's very few people that I can genuinely talk to about my real interests. And does that mean that this doesn't interest me? No, but this is my job. And my friendships are best contained with people who, like, they like to talk about the same subjects. That's another thing that I like to do. Be very, 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 very close attention to the relationships in your life. Are they making you happy? And do you feel like you can be yourself? And then the Judgment card is a new beginning card as well, which is success. It is one of the ways to sharpen your focus and sharpen your vision, is to understand it's great to accept others as they are. But that doesn't mean access. And you need to get a little bit better about not letting everybody have access to you. Because we can get into this light and love energy where we just want to be like, the positive force in others. And that magnet for narcissists is always going to be within true, deep empaths. Because they sense power and they want to take it. And can narcissists be powerful? Yes. And this is one thing that, can narcissists be psychic? They're always a tiny bit off. You might notice it. You really might notice it. It's like, they said this, but it was this, and it was very, very close. And that it has to be across the board, because all psychics will miss ever so slightly. It's an immaterial realm. But you should notice it very, very, very consistently. because narcissists actually have a tremendous difficulty truly connecting to a realm that is empathic. So they get like a peripheral vision instead of a straight on one. We have new perspective, manifest, push and pull energy. Okay, that is the empath narcissist paradigm energy. Inner healing with important conversation, which is what we're doing right now. Unexpected message, isolation. Okie dokie. Clear your energy every day. Spend some time alone every single day. And as far as I can tell, everything else around this is like everything's still coming, even if it's been a long time, even if it's been years, is just waiting for your energetic readiness to be able to protect yourself. And I am pretty sure what we are being told is that was the missing piece for you. Is being able to accept that like people are meant to come and go and they can come back after, that withdrawing your presence from somebody's life can make them examine what they are doing, and to please also remember that if you are gifted, narcissists wear a false face very well and very easily. So you could be convinced that somebody is a delightful person, but you will have noticed. It's like it's never gonna hide completely. Like they'll say really unkind things because they lack empathy. They say really unkind things towards other people. That is one of the red flags, the pay attention to the red flags energy that we sometimes get. That is one of the red flags for, there are narcissists who try and work in this field. But like I said, they don't hit the target. They hit the tree next to the target a lot. Here we go, 1 and 2 and 3. So they're ever so slightly off. Yeah, devil. Take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. When you have pure intent, it can be really difficult to spot others' bad intent. And they do. The more successful you are, the more likely you will have to shield yourself from other people. And always pass your friendships through, is this person somebody I can really be myself around? Is this somebody who, like, I trust with not hurting my feelings because they're in a bad mood? Which is another thing that narcissists do. Owl. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. Snake. Dude, you really are getting a warning around that. You are ready to bring new and existing things into your path. That is my underlying issue. This is the only thing holding you back. Is that you're just not thinking of it that way. Is that predators are attracted not simply to prey, but to something that they think is going to be a really good meal. So just to be a little careful, you've got, like, I don't have a narcissist on this table except for facing a difficult truth about relationships that don't belong in your life, testing things to make sure that I really have a good time with this person. And it doesn't mean you never ever support another person. It's a hard realm sometimes. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we're going to get the same you cast a spell with your existence card that every pile has gotten. If you interact with magical energies and universal energies, if you are truly gifted, there are people who want to exploit that in this world. And that is the thing that you're being asked to remember. And what do? You ground before and after you work. Every day you clear your energy. Nobody is ever so powerful that they shouldn't be clearing their energy. And a lot of times people who have attachments have no idea. No idea. Because it's just become a part of them. It's interwoven into their subconscious. Rise above the dark days. Do not fight them, but have faith that light will always return. Hey, didn't I just talk about that? There's going to be days where you cry your eyes out. There's going to be a day where you're frustrating and you're just like, get this day over with. I'm going to bed at 9:15, man. It doesn't then define going forward. You have big energies. You have big gifts. You're going to have big feelings. Enter the temple of your truth and learn to value it. I'm going to cut and take one more. A light-filled angel is at your side. So Raphael is the healer's angel. I work chiefly with Gabriel because what is Gabriel? Gabriel is the messenger. Brings the epiphanies, brings the truth, brings the sometimes hard to hear stuff too. It can be delightful to work with sometimes. I'm joking around a little bit. I actually really love what I do, and I love that that's my chief connection. Most healers are chiefly connected to Raphael. And in the head and the heart battle, we're always meant to consider both and stand in between to make our strongest and best and self-protective decisions. I don't think I used this yet. I'm on pile number 4, and I can get like how many decks have I touched and what have I, the messages a little bit start to run together. The Griffin, honor and good luck. I think we already did this one, didn't we? Because you got the beware who you trust. We'll take one more just for fun. Chimera. Imagination clouds your judgment as well, with the Wizard of Awareness, which is the people come and go card on the back of it. The Chimera is honestly, that is one of the attachment areas. It really is. It's a psychic influence, and it has nothing to do with how gifted you are. In fact, the more high-level attachments are incredible, which one of them is narcissism. They are really genuinely drawn to high-level psychics and to different forms of healers and educators and therapists, and they have a part of them that it's like they can sniff them out. Because if you have access to the highest level of healing energy or the highest level of guidance energy, you have a very powerful gift. And there are always going to be things that are trying to take advantage of that. And sometimes people are subconsciously guided towards the choices that they make and trying to exploit that, so that like a good friendship can turn bad sometimes because of it. We have passion, in the same chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. The Dragonfly, be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light, adapt, change, heal. And then I have healthy choices. Guys, you're so on track for good things here. Making healthy choices in love and life, self-love, self-care, and being happier. I want you to really focus on the word happy here. All of your relationships are meant to bring you joy. All of your relationships are meant to bring you joy. It doesn't mean that's all they'll ever bring you, but particularly in friendships, particularly in romantic relationships, it's not all supposed to be at the struggle. Healers have to be very careful with their friendships to make sure they're balanced, because your gift, it's not like walking away from a computer. It's always, always with you. And a part of people genuinely reacts to that. They're not even trying sometimes to take advantage of it. Really good people can fall under the influence of something they have no idea is there, but you also need to be remembered, because you got a warning around narcissists, is narcissists are so drawn to people with power. They're so good at pretending that they're not narcissists sometimes. And like I said, they can exist in this realm, but they're always a little off. They're always a little off. And that is the way to recognize. It's like, have I interacted with somebody like that? Maybe. It's not common. They actually they have to be incredibly charismatic to continue to walk through this land. They really genuinely do, because that's the thing that makes up for the being ever so slightly off type of energy sometimes, okay? All right, so pile number 4, that was your reading. If you need to book me for a private reading, at therisingmoon.com is the only way to do so. And I'm going to go clear my energy and release attachments. Thanks so much for being here.